There is a ton of stuff going on with the Appalachian Trail thru hikers right now. Thru hiker season, no-bow season is closing in on the last month or so. And so the bubble is up in New Hampshire and Maine, and folks are finishing and summiting, and it's just an awesome time out there on the Appalachian Trail. So I'm going to be sharing that with you. Also, I'm going to be sharing something really personal with you at the end of this video. I know a lot of folks don't watch the whole video, but my community that watches it and stays to the end, you're out there for me. And so I hope you'll do that. If you can't stay and watch the whole thing, community, skip ahead to the end, because I really got something from the heart that I want to get across to you. But let's go ahead and get started with what's going on out there on the trail. We got Chasing Bugs. They have made it past the Kennebec Ferry, and so that is a huge place there, the only ferry on the Appalachian Trail, and it's just a huge iconic place that means when you hit that, you're getting real close to Mama Kay. And they are heading into the 100-mile wilderness probably as we speak, and they send in this update.
Hey Ramdino, it's Chase and Buzz. We're on the Kennebec River and being expertly guided by this, what's your name?
Rob.
By Rob. Yeah, we made it out of the Bigelows. It was cold and rainy. We hit some storms. Our next stop, we're going to be heading up to the 100-mile wilderness. I hope you had a good time on your hike in Pennsylvania. Talk to you later.
They plan to summit somewhere around 10 to 11 days, I believe, and then they're going to be turning right back around because they're not done. They're on a flip-flop, so they'll be turning right back around, starting where they flipped up and heading on back down to Springer. Piercy, he has made it north of Bennington, Vermont. He said Vermont has been wet, 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 and mud, mud, mud. So typically this time of year, the mud's kind of gone, but we have had a ton of rain, hurricane, or rather tropical storms by the time it got up there, maybe just tropical depression, but a lot of water's been dumped on that area up there, which has increased the mud pack and has also made some of the water crossing sketchy. But he says they're still having a blast out there, but his body's fighting back and he is still heading north. Bandit and Bluegrass, they are well into Maine, and they send in this update.
Hello Ramdino, this is Chuck and Bluegrass. We're currently at the top of Saddleback Mountain in Maine. It's Tuesday, August 13th. I can stop yelling right now. We finally stepped back behind some trees. You can see behind me, we're totally socked in. We're in the top of the clouds, which I hate that. I was really looking forward to some good views. Maine has been interesting so far. We had to take a couple zeros as Debbie rolled through, dumped about 3 inches of rain on us. We stayed at the cabin hostel. Maine has been interesting. After Debbie, the trails became nothing but one big mud bog. So everything that we lucked out and didn't get in Vermont, Maine has more than made up for it. We're still moving along. Back up in the wind. Till next time, this is Bandit. We're still heading north. This is one to remember, folks. Wind like this is rough.
That's a great update, and for folks that have never been above tree line and then gone back down below tree line, you notice that's what was happening there. The wind was just incredible above tree line, but once he got down into the trees, it kind of broke the wind there, and it's not near as bad. So thanks a lot for that update, Bandit and Bluegrass. Sweet Potato, she has the whites in her rear view mirror, and she is continuing south on her no-bow flip-flop. She sends in this update.
This is Sweet Potato. Just finishing up the last of the 4,000 footers. And then I will be on my way to Hanover and soon done with New Hampshire. I was lucky to get some really beautiful days for both the Presidential Range and also Franconia Ridge. Needed to take some time in town to do that, but it was worth it.
Man, I just love her smile. She just looks like she is just having the best time while she's out there and just soaking up everything she can from the AT. So that is awesome, Sweet Potato. Glad to see you doing so well out there. 111, he is north of Mount Moosilauke, and he sends in this update.
Good afternoon, Ramdino and family. This is 111. I am on the top of Mount Moosilauke. Ladies and gentlemen, this is absolutely spectacular. Absolutely spectacular. A little chilly up here, but it's stunningly beautiful. Hope everybody's doing well. This is 111. I am heading into the Whites. Over there is Mount Washington. It's coming. So hope everybody's doing well. 111 out.
Man, what a gorgeous view. That is a gorgeous panorama shot you gave us there, 111. That is just so killer. And he'd also sent in this previous video while I was on trail right before he got to Mount Moosilauke.
Hey, I'm doing my family. This is 111. Hope everybody's doing well. Just crossed over South and North Moose Mountain. That was awesome. It was cloudy because I did it in the rain. Today, trail conditions are muddy and wet. A little damp out here, and it is very chilly. It's probably in the high 40s, maybe low 50s. It's chilly. So New Hampshire's beautiful so far. Everything's going well, and working my way to Glencliff, where I will take a one-day pause, grab a 4-day resupply that I sent there, and then head into the Whites, Mount Moosilauke. So I'll send you my next video update from there. Hope everybody's doing well. Talk to you soon. Bye. 111 out.
Well, when you're out on trail, whether you're wearing a kilt, pants, or a mini skirt, you are using up electrolytes like gangbusters. Your body's getting depleted by all the heat and all the walking that you're doing, whether it be summer or winter, but especially in the summer. So that's why I drink Element Drink Mix. It's got 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium. All the electrolytes you need to get back in your system so you can operate at peak performance. No cognitive impairment, any of that going on, no impairment whatsoever. And right now, if you'll go to drinkelement.com/Ramdino, that's DRINKLMNT.com/Ramdino. And with any order, they will send you a free sample pack of all the flavors that they've got out there. And there's a lot of great flavors. I like them all. So go to drinkelement.com/Ramdino. That's DRINKLMNT/Ramdino.com. And it doesn't matter if you're ordering a powdered drink mix or their sparkling variety. They're all good. So go and get you some. Matt Hermit, he has made it to Rangeley, Maine, and he sends in this update.
Hey Ramdino, it's Matt Hermit checking in with you from Rangeley, Maine. Very glad to have made it this far in the last 3 days of rain and cold. And glad to be drying things out at the hostel and getting ready to head further north. Just a little over 200 miles left.
200 miles is what he's got left to go. And by the time, and he sent that update in earlier, so he's under 200 miles. He has walked from Georgia to Maine, as has a lot of folks out there, but that's just amazing to think about that. Only 200 miles left on the 2,194.8, something like that. It is this year, so that is just crazy. And Payday, who usually sends in a video update for us, he is in the 100-mile wilderness, but today he's coming out, and I believe he may have stayed there at the campground there, right just short of getting ready to summit, and he is summiting today is what he told me his schedule was. So he didn't have any type of Wi-Fi to get it out, but going to be excited. Too bad he couldn't summit one day earlier, or just a couple of hours earlier, so that we could get that in there, get that in this video this week. But anyway, Payday, congratulations. Look forward to seeing your summit peaks out there and all the information you got to tell us. He did say that water crossings continue to be a non-issue up there in Maine. He says the trail in general through the 100-mile wilderness has been pretty cruisy. So appreciate you giving us that final trail update, Payday. That's awesome. So those are the folks that are reporting in from 2024. If you're somebody out there on the trail or a family member and you want to report in where your family member is out there on the trail, please do so. Be glad to include that, whether you've been including us in your updates or including us in your hike throughout the course of this season or not. And then certainly if you summit out there, we want to know about your summit. So send in me your summit picture, as well as when you summited, when you left Amicalola or Springer, and what your summit number is. And then if you could send us a video that you took right there at the sign right after you summited, so we could catch that that final what's going through your mind there, that would be very awesome. So send those in to me. And then if you're a 2025 hiker hopeful out there, then we have already started our 2025 hiker list. I think I'm being spied on. I wonder if that's the ATC checking me out. Yep, I'm down here, folks. Anyway, 2025 folks, by all means, down below is a link to where the form where you can go put yourself on the 2025 support list. And hiker community out there, that is already up and running. That link's down below too, and you can go ahead and start determining who you're going to follow in 2025. But don't forget, the 2024 folks are still out there, Nobo, Sobo, and flip-floppers. So please go to that list there for 2024 and support them as well. So we got some finishes up there. We got KO and Jake's. They summited Katahdin on August 21st, and KO, he hiked with his stepfather's ashes up there. So not sure the backstory behind that. Hopefully we'll get that. Those are always pretty neat backstories that people have there. KO was number 1044 at Amicalola and number 374 on his Nobo hiker number that they gave him at Baxter State Park on his permit up to Katahdin. And Jake's, he was 1020 at Amicalola. My understanding is they hooked up a few days later on trail after they both signed in and have been hiking the trail ever since. And Jake's was number 373 at Katahdin. So congratulations to them. And then we got Wolfman, who has been reporting in to us each and every day or each week for the most part. And Wolfman said summited Katahdin on 8/9, so August 9th, in the pouring rain with his son who came out and hiked with him, and his hiking buddies, Radioactive and Captain Blaze. So he started Springer on February 21st as hiker bag tag number 321. He hit Harper's Ferry. He was number Nobo 151, and he summited Katahdin. He was number 244. So that is awesome. So the rest of you folks out there, when you finish, whether you have been reporting to us and updating us throughout the course of your hike or not, please let us know. Send those to us, and we would love to include you and celebrate your awesome adventure that you have completed out there on the trail. So we got some news there. I had some unfortunate news to bring to you about a missing hiker, Fred Shuttlebrand, but his sister got in touch with me late yesterday, and he has been found. So that is awesome. Fred had some mental issues going on. He was a 2004 hiker. He purchased equipment down at Neal's Gap and then started heading north from Woody's Gap, abandoned his car down there with the keys, and made it to Franklin. He had abandoned his gear for the most part throughout the course of his hike, but he did get up to Franklin, had been spotted several times. His sister came up to Franklin to look for him, had been looking for him for several days, and so she did indeed find him. So that is awesome. Glad to know that. He was located about 1:30 on Saturday afternoon, walking the streets, very hungry, but he is safe at the hospital now until he is ready to come home. His sister Tiffany said that she wants to thank everyone in the hiker community from the bottom of her heart. She goes that everyone that assisted or just prayed for, whatever they did, the encouragement and the hands and feet that they did out there was a seemingly impossible task, but it all turned out for the best. So thank you very much, hiker community, for doing that. She said God moved mountains, and I can't tell you all the amazing ways he stepped up in this situation. So awesome. Thank you, hiker community, for uplifting them, and for those folks that were part of helping find him. Thank you very much for that. That is just awesome. So glad he's back home. And I do have some sad news. We had a 2021 Thru Hiker Snorzillo. His His matrix name was Rick Mayhew. He took his life on August 14th. He is survived by his parents and his wife and many friends, some of which hiked with him on his hike. Apparently, he took his life due to post-trail depression. Post-trail depression is a real thing. Folks get off the trail and you're living in this idyllic situation in a community where everybody just takes care of each other. And for the most part, everybody gets along. You're out there because you want to be out there, and it's just an amazing community that we have here. And particularly the thru hikers get really tight, and when they come off trail, they come into the matrix that is not so kind, where they are flooded by situations that are not what they were experiencing out on the trail, and situations that are just not good. You start wanting that to get back to the trail, but you don't know how to get back there due to financial reasons or job reasons or family reasons, what have you. And so post-trail depression is real. I don't know if that's a real medical diagnosis that they can give you help with pharmaceutically, and I mean prescribed pharmaceuticals. But in any case, very sorry to hear that, and our prayers and our hearts go out to the Snorzilla, Rick Mayhew's family. Folks, we're family here. We take care of each other because the trail brings us all together and gets us in a society and a community that the normal community does not understand, where we are all equal in what we've gone through and what we do and how we treat each other. And so look out for one another. If you have some thru hiker family that you finished with, you guys keep in touch. I want to offer myself up out there. If any thru hiker for whatever reason feels like that it's better not to be in this world than or any other hike, or any other person, not just a hiker, but any other person feels like it's better not to be in this world than in it, then please get in touch with me through the various methods down below. Would love to have a chat with you. Don't want anybody to leave this world prematurely because of post-trail depression or any kind of depression. So we will be thinking about and praying for Rick Mayhew's family. Spineless Cougar Data, he is our Vermont Trail Angel correspondent up there in Vermont, and he reports in. He says he expects the daily numbers to taper off starting in the next week or so to probably near nothing. He did say that the usual mud bugs are gone. The leaves have not turned in southern Vermont yet, so that's where he does his trail magic. But he feels like in the next couple weeks they will be turning. His data for this week, so he collects data from folks that don't mind doing so on things like their pack weight, when they started, did they have Noro, and now the 24 folks that signed in and signed in their pack weights, the median, which is the average, was 30.45, but really the median, which is is more accurate because it takes out the really low packs and the really high packs. The median was 31.5, so close to the average in there. And the pack ranges from anywhere from weights from 21.4 to 45 pounds. What do you think the difference is? Now, some of it is that 21.5 pound person may have been depleted of food, and the 45 pound may have had a new resupply in it, and he may have had more water in his than the 21.5, but still, usually that only accounts for about 10 pounds of weight. So, what is it that somebody has in their pack that increases it up there? The earliest hiker that he had there was Easygoing, who left February 23rd and was bag tag number 356. And the latest hiker was Sprinter, who left Springer on 5/15. So January, February, March, April, May 15th. And they were bag tag number 2,760. And it already made it to central Vermont, I think, is where he sets it up. He said that the past few days there in Vermont, has been cooling, and the nights have been getting down into the 50s, and some of the hikers were kind of surprised by that, and so they were getting a little chilly because they didn't have the proper bags for it to get that cold at night. And daytime temps highs were around 75. So that's kind of what's going on up in there. It's going to get a little warmer here over the next week up in Vermont, and then it'll probably set in. Fall will probably set in. Whispers, who's our northern correspondent, he sends in that a hiker's died due to exposure on Mount Washington. So apparently this hiker took the Cog Railway up, and they had a light day pack on, and they decided to hike down. It was a early 70s, like 72-year-old man, and he did not have the proper gear. And Mount Washington has seen snow every day of the year. So it doesn't snow there every day of the year, but over the years they've seen it every single day of the year. And so the temperatures can drop drastically, the wind chills can increase drastically, and so apparently he died of exposure and had been dead for some time when they found him, because they said it was a recovery. It was not, they didn't try to resuscitate him or anything like that, because he had been passed for so long. So we just need to make sure that we are prepared when we go out for any type of hikes, day hike or whatever. I always make sure I've got water, some energy bars, an emergency poncho, like one of those emergency reflective blankets with me, a first aid kit, and a means to communicate back, which is typically my phone. But if I have my satellite with me, my Garmin with the panic button on it, then I will take that with me as well, and I really need to be bringing that with me the whole time. Whisper says he expects a long cool spell to be setting in, and he said it's been the past week and it's been really great hiking. And he also gives us the phonetic sounding of the Pemigewasset range that I badly mispronounced a couple weeks. So Whispers, tell us how to pronounce it.
Hey Ramdino, I realized it's hard to communicate sounds over text, and I got the hard E sound in the full version of the wilderness's name wrong. The short version, P-E-M-I, is Pemi. You just say Pemi. The long version is Pemigewasset. Pemigewasset.
Pemigewasset. Pemigewasset. You know what? I think I'm just going to take the easy route out and take the Pemi and just leave it at that. And everybody apparently up there knows what I mean by that. We also had another, I guess, sad occurrence, maybe not, if you've ever stayed there. The Laurel Mountain Shelter at Novo Mile 422 burned down. So there wasn't a lightning strike or anything like that. It was kind of known. Some people thought it was haunted. Other people said it was Ratzilla that was in there. So either Ratzilla got big enough to start rubbing two sticks together, or found some gear and started a fire in there, or somebody else did it. But in any case, the Laurel Fork Shelter is no more, and the foundation and the walls are still there, but the roof's gone and the platform's gone. So don't know right now if they're going to build it or not. But that does leave like a 24-mile void in there for shelters. So there are some camp spots in there, but I don't know of any that have a water source at them, but there may be some. But in any case, that's unfortunate. Another unfortunate thing is Sadie is still missing. Sadie is Bright Eye's dog, fur baby that went missing back in March. So she's still missing. Bright Eyes has now come back down from Canada. She has been given permission to do so by the immigration authorities, but she can only stay so long because of her Canadian insurance, health insurance. So she is back down for a few months, continuing to look for Sadie. Thank you everybody that has sent in possible Sadie sightings and pictures of those dogs and everything. There has been a tremendous amount of dogs that have been seemingly adopted out because of the Help Sadie site. So there has been some good come of that, but we're still looking for Sadie. So continue to send those dogs in. People can continue to send in your possible sightings. Thank you so much for doing that. We only got to be right one time, and I believe Sadie's still out there. I'm keeping hope alive. I believe she's still out there, and that eventually she is going to be found. This past week, didn't have an update because I was up in Pennsylvania. I had some great hike going on up there. Just had a wonderful time. I want to thank all of y'all for reaching out to me and offering support out there on the trail. Got to meet a lot of folks. I've got the videos coming out here really soon. Matter of fact, there's going to be a video coming out this week. But I'm just excited to share that with you. Got to meet all kind of trail angels out there and folks that came out that watched the channel, but mainly they're buddies with Fresh Ground who supported us through that trip. And so a lot of serendipity, a lot of just great stuff going on with that. So I hope you'll tune into that. I do want to be a little personal and share something with you. August has been a very rough week for me. Rough month. And so those that are still watching, you are part of my community. More than likely, you're part of my continuing community, and so I choose to share that now with you. And I need your prayers. I need your good vibes, whatever you got to get through the rest of the month. I'm waiting for the next shoe to drop. So I've totaled my work car in August. My dad had rotator cuff surgery, so I've been dealing with his rehab on that, and my dad's 85. So that can be difficult at times. My mom fell, fractured her skull, had 2 brain bleeds, then got low sodium, almost died twice in ICU. She's out now, thankfully, and she's back home and seeming to do well, but that has been a rough go of it. Of course, I had to take some time off work. Pennsylvania was the shining star in the whole thing, Rocksylvania, believe it or not. So I had a great hike there. But then I came home, and Daisy, who has not shown up around here yet, and I know a lot of folks look for Daisy, Daisy almost passed away as well. So she ingested something really toxic. We think it was a mushroom or some mold off the compost pile. We're not sure, but she took a liver hit. Her liver levels maxed out the equipment at over 10,000, and they're supposed to be 125. And so it was touch and go there for a couple days in the ER with her. But anytime you go to the ER, one, you're worried about your fur baby dying, and 2, that's a big chunk of change you spend. And then not only once we got her home from the hospital, Coda, my lab, who you've seen before in videos, he impales himself on something in the woods, a stick or something. So we had to take him in. So it's been a rough August, and I'm ready to get August. Mama told me don't ever wish your life away. I'm ready to get the next week out of here. So y'all be thinking about me and doing what you do best out there. I'd greatly appreciate that. And here is looking at a whole lot smoother September and fall. Hey, don't forget that I have got my Rocksylvania trip that I just got back from. It'll be right here. And go and check out how that hike went. It was an awesome hike full of a lot of serendipity and trail tales and stuff. So go and check it out here. Folks, I appreciate all y'all do for me, and as always, thank you, and we'll see you out here.